Good evening, everybody. It's so great to be here, and I'm so glad that we've started this challenge for the past few days now. And actually, people have been participating, sharing their daily goals and their daily targets. So we've actually we started taking beets juice. So not the juice alone in particular, actually. So um, we can actually take the beetroot in different ways. We tried beetroot, we're trying other fruits like dates in order to boost our iron level. So we've tried dates, eggs, and we're working on our water intake and exercises per day. And we have a WhatsApp platform where people have actually been participating. People have been sharing their daily goals. I remember someone sharing a lot of fruits that she has already gotten for like a week or 2 weeks that she'll be taking already. So it's been great so far. And today we are having a guest speaker here with us to enlighten us more, on how we can actually boost our iron level. And also, menstruation is one of the things that causes low iron due to the loss of blood and the likes. So because menstruation is one of the things that causes um, excuse me. Okay, you're welcome, OTG Solution. You're welcome. So we've already started the session, and I'm currently welcoming our speaker for tonight. So as I was saying, so menstruation is one of the things that causes low iron for women, most especially, and so we invited Dr. Clinton. Dr. Clinton, I've known him for quite a while now. Although he knows me, but not like in person like that. So and I've been a student for a while now, and I can really vouch for his teachings. And there has been testimonies of coming to talk about the results of carrying out the instructions I gave them, carrying out the processes that I gave them. So it's not someone that I just met and invited for this program. I've seen his output progress for a while now, and I'm really glad to have him here for this meeting. So, Dr. Clinton is a menstrual and fertility expert who specializes in holistic natural solutions for menstrual and fertility health. He is the first and only menstrual therapist we have known, and he has a large community of women who subscribe to his therapy services, which I am one of those women. Through his various platforms, he teaches people how to navigate their menstrual journey, fertility journey, and the likes. So, with a warm welcome and clap innovation, we want to welcome Dr. Clinton tonight to teach us and to enlighten us on how to boost our iron level and also how to take care of our menstrual health as women. You're welcome, Dr. Clinton. So we can have you now.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, well done. Just give me a minute. I hope we all had a blessed and fruitful day.
Yes,
Yes, we did, sir.
Okay, no problem.
thank you.
So I believe this is an all ladies, only ladies program. So I would know how to handle the demography I'm dealing with. We just have only ladies in the house, right?
Yes,
I
yes, sir.
believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So let me turn on my camera. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone. Um, we're here today to learn how to naturally boost our iron levels. But first, we'll be dealing with menstrual health. And because this is one of the prevailing factor, one of the major causes of iron deficiency in women. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So that's one of the major cause of iron deficiency. The other causes too, like during delivery, you may most likely experience iron deficiency, or let's say when you're sick. All right. I'll try not to use medical terms. When you're not feeling too well, let's say you have typhoid and malaria, definitely over time your iron levels will reduce. All right. Then let's say you're experiencing internal bleeding, or you're having something like let's say hemorrhagic cysts. There are different kinds of female health issues or general health issues that will cause low iron. All right. But one of the major ones for women mostly is menstruation beginning, and then we'll go into iron levels. What is iron? How can you boost them? What are the side effects or the effect of iron deficiency? So we'll be dealing with all those ones, and I'll be telling you some of the things that you did not know, everyday things that you see that you did not know that actually helps to boost iron levels. So with that said, many of you have been told that first, menstrual cramps are natural, and then secondly, that the egg that was not fertilized during your cycle is the one that actually causes period, right? I believe that's what we've been told. Wumi, are you here with us? Hello, Wumi. Please unmute and then answer so I know you're following.
Mm.
Okay. Pastor Maureen.
Yes, I've heard that a lot of times too.
Okay, and over time you've believed it that it's the egg that was not fertilized that causes you to see your period, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's not true. Damilola should know better. She has been my student for quite some time. I don't know for
Yeah.
how long. I've had students for as high as 2, 3, 4, 5 years and above. So I have over 20,000 female students worldwide. Nigerians, Uganda, we have Ugandians. I don't know what they are called, Ghanaians and others. So everywhere around by God's grace, UK, US, and others. So I have taught them some things that they need to know. All right, which is what you call menstruation is not really what it is. Menstruation is shredding of blood, but that shredding is caused by something. Now, in your uterus is a muscular tissue. Some people argue if the uterus is a muscle or if it's a tissue. Now, it is a muscular tissue. Why? Because it has the ability to expand and contract. All right. So, being a muscular tissue, it's like this, let's say inside. Inside the uterus, it has a lining called the endometrial tissue, just like the palm of your hands. Now, if you close your hands like this for, let's say, 30 minutes, if you start sweating, right? Don't worry, you can unmute and just talk. Let's make this interactive. Whoever is online, you can unmute and talk. So,
Okay.
okay, so now the uterus is, let's say, like this. If you close your hands for an hour or so, your hands will sweat, right? Now,
Yes.
that sweat, this palm of your hands, being called endometrium, that sweat is called endometrial tissue in medicine. Now that endometrial tissue, sorry, that this palm of your hands is called endometrial tissue. Then that sweat itself is called endometrium. And that endometrium would come mostly immediately after you finished your period, your body starts creating new endometrium, just like sweat.
Mm.
What happens is this: by the time it's waiting for you to get pregnant during ovulation time, you don't get pregnant. It's supposed to be used for something. Now, in the case where you don't get pregnant, what happens is that endometrium that is like sweat in your hands, if you now hold your hands for like 2 hours, your hands will start dropping sweat, right? Like water. The same thing with the uterus. Now, when your body releases egg, now this is where egg does not have anything to do with your period. Now, this is where when your body releases egg from either your right fallopian tube, ovary rather, right ovary or your left ovary into the fallopian tube. When it's waiting for sperm to fertilize it and it doesn't happen, what happens is this: it shreds. Now, for the sake of this lesson, I will say pregnancy does not happen in the uterus, it happens in the fallopian tube. Pastor Maureen, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay. So pregnancy doesn't happen in the uterus, it happens in the fallopian tube. Now, in the case where you don't get pregnant, this is where I was mentioning the endometrium. That egg shreds. Ovulation only happens between 12 to 24 hours. You don't know the particular day to happen, but most likely within your there's a fertility window. I can't start teaching that one here now. It's quite it will
Mm.
deal with a lot of maths for different people. Now, once you ovulate and no sperm fertilize that, it will shred within 12 to 24 hours. So there is no more egg anywhere. So when you see your period and you start opening your pad to look for what did not lose, you're wasting your time. All
Mm.
right, there's egg there. Now, let's say you get pregnant. If you get pregnant, that egg that is fertilized in the fallopian tube would swim down to the uterus and attach itself to that endometrium. Remember the endometrium I mentioned? So it will swim down to that endometrium and start drawing life and blood from it up until it's able to form its own placenta as a fetus. Now, when you don't get pregnant, that endometrium I mentioned earlier will start shredding off in form of blood. And it takes about 28 cycle days for each time or for each lady to experience that shredding. For some ladies, it can be 24, for some, it can be 30, for some, it can be 28, but most ladies have always had 28 days. All right, now, medically, if it's above 35 days, it's not normal. If it's below 21 days, it's not normal. An average of 27, 28 days is okay. So, in the case where that 28 day comes, and then you start shredding that blood, what you're shredding is the endometrium, not the egg. Pastor Mary, do you understand now?
Yes,
So,
I do.
good. So, what you're shredding is the endometrium, not the egg. Now, that endometrium will gradually come between 3 to 5 days. For some people, it can be as high as 7 days, while for others, it can be as low as 3 days. Anything below 3 days is not normal. Anything above 7 days is also not normal. An average of 5 days is okay. Now, some ladies would use 2 pads a day, 3 pads a day, four. It's not bad. In the case where you start using 7 pads,
Mm. In a day.
then, then you should know that your village people have put hand in your matter. But in this case, now there's no village people.
Yeah.
Let's not go.
No village people.
There's no village people. So do not be deceived. They don't have power over anything. This is not
Yeah.
me preaching Bible. This is me understanding life. There's no
Mm.
village people here. So um, now in the case where you are using multiple pads. When I say multiple, I mean anything above four now in this case. Using 5, 6, 7, 8 pads in the on day one, day two, or whatever, it is not normal. All right, because you're literally bleeding. Now, if you're bleeding for that much, what would happen is this: you would start reducing your blood levels and definitely to make you anemic. Now, this is where we start going into the iron topic. Since you now understand how menstruation happens, so if it was the egg that was not fertilized that comes out in form of blood, the egg is not red. That is one. Right? You can do your research on how egg looks like. The egg that would be an assignment for everyone. The egg is not red. That is one. The egg cannot bleed for 5 days because it's quite small. All right. So
Mm.
that in the middle is what you see as your period between 3 to 5 days or 5 to 7 days max, an average of 5 days. So for some ladies, 4 days. Now, how do we know that? Okay, fine. You're experiencing low iron. There are some symptoms that come with iron deficiency. But first, I mentioned something about being anemic. We have different two major um, types of anemia. All right. We have the pernicious anemia. This is when your body begins to produce abnormal size of red blood cells. So if you're having abnormal size of red blood cells, they begin to malfunction. And this malfunction will cause different things to you, but that's not what we are dealing with now. We are dealing with the second type of anemia, which is the iron deficiency anemia. All right. In the case where you are experiencing iron deficiency anemia, there are some symptoms that will come with it. All right. Some of the symptoms will deal with tiredness, some will deal with shortness of breath, some will deal with different symptoms as ladies. Pale, your skin might be pale. You might be experiencing something called finger spinning, all right, or spoon fingers, where your fingers either they start breaking easily or become very, very light. All right, you don't have big fingers. Any small thing it breaks. You just wash cloth, it breaks or something. So you might experience some things like that. So there are other symptoms too that come with you being deficient in iron. Some of them can be lack of energy, you're always weak. All right. Another one would be palpitation, heart palpitation. I don't want to call it arrhythmia. There is a medical term called arrhythmia. Arrhythmia is when your heart is beating improperly. All right. Start beating too fast, too slow, too fast. So, but when it comes to anemia or iron deficiency anemia, you might be noticing your own heartbeat. Your heart is struggling. All right. So as a lady, you should pay attention to your body because the truth is, what I tell ladies is what a man can do, a woman shouldn't do because you're built differently. Now, some people don't even know what iron is. So let me explain what iron is before we go further. You have heard the word iron, iron. Some people are like, do we really have iron in the human body? Because they think it's iron ore. So it is not iron ore. All right. For those of you that are asking or might ask what is iron ore, when you've heard about Jakarta plant, where they create all this steel, where they used to create steel, and that iron steel, that's iron ore, the raw one that comes from the ground. Hello, Wumi, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. So when it comes to iron, iron would be a mineral. Iron is a mineral in the body, all right, and it's used for growth and development. So whenever you hear the word iron, just remember that it's a mineral in the body that is used for growth and development. Just like you've heard of the word protein before, you've heard of the word carbohydrate, fat and oil, and some other minerals we have in the body, all right, or classes of food. And you've heard of different vitamins, just like vitamin C and others. The same thing with iron. But one of the major function of iron is for growth and development. But the body needs iron to create something called hemoglobin. All right. Hemoglobin is a protein that is needed to create red blood cells, right, and transport oxygen from your lungs to other parts of your body. So when you have low iron, you now see why your heart will be palpitating because now nothing carries. You don't have enough hemoglobin to carry the oxygen from your lungs to your heart and supply it to other parts of the body. So if you have low function of um, or your lungs are struggling, your heart is struggling, then other parts of your body would suffer. This is why you experience shortness of breath. This is why you're feeling tired.
Yes.
That hemoglobin would be needed to help you transport this oxygen to far as down as your leg, down far up to your brain and other parts of your body. And it's not only oxygen is transporting, as it's transporting oxygen, it's transporting other nutrients. That's why for some people they just experience a lack of appetite because you cannot eat, you'll be tired. And when you come to the hospital, most times we give you injections, all right, to place you on drips just to help you boost your energy level and then sometimes help you to eat other foods. And so I think I've explained what iron really is. It's a mineral in the body needed for development and growth. All right. So whenever you hear the word iron again, please do not be confused. It's also necessary for hormonal development and production. So are we clear with that now? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. So now the next thing most people would want to hear would be, how do you boost iron? All right. But the first thing that nobody talks about is how not to lose it in the first place.
Mm.
How do you not lose iron? Now, one of the things you want to prevent is lots of bleeding during periods and lots of bleeding during childbirth. And you don't need drugs to do this. One thing you can do for yourself is to boost your vitamin K levels. I think I should give that as assignment. So let me give that as assignment. All right. Now the assignment is, check for foods that are high in vitamin K. Yeah, there are medications for those ones, but let's give an assignment. Foods that are high, I didn't say fruits, I said foods that are high in vitamin K. So look for both the food and the fruit that contain vitamin K. Now, vitamin K helps with um, blood clotting, all right? It helps your blood to, let me use a layman language, it helps your blood to be thick. If your blood is too light, during period, you will bleed a lot, all right? So your body won't be able to withstand blood rush, because let's say you cut your hand and another person cut their hand. The person that has high levels of vitamin K in their bloodstream, in few minutes that blood stops and then healing process begins. But for you, because your vitamin K level is quite low, you will see that you'll be bleeding and bleeding. The same thing happens in the hospital when two women go for child delivery. One would be bleeding and then the other would not bleed much. All right, maybe if she experiences episiotomy. I think Damilola, were you in my episiotomy class?
No, 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 I wasn't.
Like Malero. So I thought it was a free class. You didn't join. So
Oh,
uh, I thought in the class, in episiotomy class, that some women would bleed a lot during episiotomy while some wouldn't. But then you definitely be given injection before that time, at least to reduce bleeding. But for some people, they have very low vitamin K that any small cuts, they start praying, oh God, help us, help our daughter. So the same thing would happen if you go for either delivery or your senior period. So how not to do this in the first place is, number one, try to boost your vitamin K level by eating the foods you will Google, that I have mentioned. All right, food and fruits, vegetables and others. For some of you, you and fruits, you're not 5 and 6. Somebody will be telling me, I do not. I think that was last year. I was in Port Harcourt sometime in December. Somebody was telling me, I don't like watermelon. I was like, oh, you don't understand. All right. And then number two is, during periods, there are some fruits you should not eat.
mm,
There are some foods you should not eat, especially when you are on your period. Number one is pineapple.
mm,
Pineapple has something called bromelain. Bromelain is a blood thinner. All right. It makes your blood very light.
Mm.
But most people don't know. Another one would be this hibiscus juice, what people call zobo. All right. Let me give you one thing most people don't know. As a pregnant woman, especially in your first trimester, if you consume too much zobo drink and pineapple, you may experience miscarriage.
mm,
So most people do not know this. So what you should do during your period, so you don't experience blood thinning, is avoid pineapple during that period. Except, let's say, your period is not flowing well and then you're experiencing cramps. In this case, we are not yet to do on natural remedies for cramps. That is that is an exclusive class. So,
yeah.
uh, so if you, let's say, you're experiencing cramps and the blood is not coming out, you may want to take pineapple to at least thin the blood and then it will come out. But if your period is flowing well and then you're experiencing lots of or normal bleeding and you go and take pineapple, you see it will rush even more.
Mm.
And the more you do this, the more your iron level goes down. And then before you know, you start experiencing lightheadedness, you start experiencing heart palpitations, Even your skin, you would even notice it on your skin. Now, the dermatological effect of iron deficiency would be hairs falling off. All right, you'd have your hair falling off. You would have dark cycle. That's eye bag, not really eye bags now, just dark cycle around your eyes, and you will have pale skin. Your skin will look pale. Another
Hmm.
one would be rough skin. All right, your skin will not look smooth, and you may be experiencing dry skin, itchiness, and others. That's because you're not having good blood supply or good oxygen supply.
Hmm.
Do you understand now? So,
Okay.
staying away from pineapple during period is one of the way you don't want to lose um, your iron levels. Then another one that most ladies don't know is this. I've taught Damilola and the rest students that as a lady, you should at least do scan once in every 6 months.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Whether you're a
Six
lady,
months.
yes, once in every 6 months. Pastor Maureen, are you still with us?
I'm still here, but I didn't hear what you said we should use once every 6 months.
Okay, I thought maybe you've gone to pray.
No, no, not yet. My husband
Okay,
just got back from work, so I have
okay.
to do wife duties and welcome my husband.
Oh my God, God, when?
God
God,
But
when?
soon.
please, let's continue with our class. What did you say we have
God
to take
soon.
once every 6 months?
Okay. I said, as a lady or as a married woman, you should at least run scan once
Yeah.
a month. All right.
Okay, okay.
Now, for virgins, I tell virgins to do pelvic scans, while for non-virgins, I tell them to do transvaginal scan. Transvaginal scan is actually more detailed, but since a virgin can't do a transvaginal scan, I just tell them do a pelvic scan instead. So run scan at least once every 6 months. The reason is you do not know when your body will start creating some imbalances. An example is fibroids. Now, if we were 50 in this, if we were 50, hello, Mrs. Wumi, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, good. Now, if we were 50 on this live, at least half of you have fibroid and you don't know.
Hmm.
That's the truth. Because fibroid is most common in black women. Don't ask me why. That's
Oh,
class one. Fibroid is most common in black women. White women do not suffer fibroid as much as black women do. And there's a reason for that. So, if you run scan once every 6 months, if there's a fibroid developing, you would find out on time.
okay.
All right. And let's say fibroid too can really suck the life out of you
Hmm.
because it will make you experience bleeding during periods.
Hmm.
Another thing is hemorrhagic cyst. When you hear the word hemorrhage, it means bleeding, mostly internal bleeding. So hemorrhagic cyst too can make someone experience anemia, iron deficiency anemia. All right. Then, if you run scan once every 6 months, it would help you prevent issues that are just springing forth. At least you know that, okay, fine, you have either cyst or you have fibroids or you have endometriosis or any adenomyosis. The list goes on and on. Like I keep on listing other female health issues. Some of the one that if you even try, you bite your tongue. I think I've thought, did you do my assignment on MRKH? Damilola?
I didn't.
You did. See now, you are watching your linear in public.
I'll do better.
Okay, so this is 2025. Let's see how it goes. So I gave an assignment sometime last year on something called MRKH, Mayer-Rotensky-Kesterhausen syndrome. It's a medical condition for women. All right, it's very rare, but it happens to ladies. MRKH. So that's another assignment. You can read about it. So if you do not do scan, you don't know if you have MRKH or not. Then if you don't do scan, you don't know if, let's say, the fibroid is just looming or you have hemorrhagic cyst or something. And then at the beginning of this class, the first thing I said is most people have been told that menstrual cramps are natural. Now, I did not complete that one. It is a lie. Menstrual cramps are not natural. Then you'll be like, oh, you're not a woman. You do not have a uterus. How would you know? we are not dealing with menstrual cramps class here, but I have mentioned it before in the Damilola set class rather. How many minutes do I have left, Dami?
11 minutes.
11 minutes, okay, fine.
Okay, let's say you have about 8 minutes because we'll wrap it up in like 2 minutes. So
Okay, no problem. 8 minutes.
Let him continue, please. So we
Right.
are enjoying the class.
it's just 1 hour.
Why are you
Okay.
giving us only 8 minutes? I beg.
Well, the meeting was scheduled for 8 to 9.
But people did not join by 8. Our class started by 8:20. So let us protest and take back our time, please.
So,
I support. I
Dr.
support.
Clinton, how many minutes can you add more?
Don't worry. Let me just see how I can wrap up everything. All right.
Okay.
But the thing is, what you should know is menstrual cramps are not natural. All right. What you should do is, there's a major cause for menstrual cramps. It's either underlying uterine issue like fibroids, endometriosis, and other things I have mentioned, or a health condition that is it's actually called high levels of prostaglandins. All right. Once you have high levels of prostaglandins in your system, definitely you'd experience cramps. Now, how do you solve it? Now, it will now be determined by the reason that that prostaglandin increased. Number one would be sugar. Number two would be processed foods, packed foods, preserved foods. Most of you, ketchup is your friend, and some other beautiful poisons that people are eating. So these things definitely will cause cramps. All right. If
Mm.
yes, ma. So you and ketchup, you got 5 and 6. Now you know. Ketchup has something called high fructose corn syrup. Today is what, 28th of February, right?
Yeah.
Uh, today made it 18. No, today made it 14 years since the last time I drank Coke.
18 years.
18.
Wow.
Wow.
We
Yes,
have you on our vision board, oh.
yes.
18
So,
years.
14 years.
Wow.
Look at my
14
face.
years.
14.
Wow.
Yes, look at my face. I look very young, right?
Mm.
Well, I stopped taking Coke as well, thanks to Dr. Clinton.
Good. Now, if you reduce your sugar intake, it will help you maintain
Thank
youth.
you.
All right. Now I look young, but Damilola should be like my daughter.
Wow. Well, not that young too.
Yes, not that young, but it's because we are online. Like if you see me physically, I look younger actually.
Okay.
But then I'm just saying that if you reduce your sugar intake, you'd really see improvement in your health. Sugar and other processed food. So back to this one now. What are the foods that you can take to help you boost your sugar, your iron level? That's the major thing now. So let's try and wrap up. Okay, I wrote some of them down. Number one for fruits. Let's start with fruits. I think you mentioned beetroot.
Yes, yes.
Beetroot is good. Beetroot and what? Celery. Did you add celery and others?
We are having spinach.
Okay, spinach is good. It's here. Beetroot and
Um,
spinach. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
it's the major ones that we are taking.
Okay, good. Beetroot and spinach is good. Well, what beetroot will help you do is to balance your blood levels. So if you have high should I give this for free? Okay,
Well,
fine.
we have a little idea.
Please give
I'm
us,
giving
give
this for
us.
free again. So if you have high blood pressure, or if you know anybody that has high blood pressure, tell them to
Yeah.
take beetroot, pineapple, and celery. All right. So beetroot, pineapple, and celery, blend them together, and then you'll be taking them. Even if it's once every 2 days for a month, you see your blood level will stabilize. So if it's even if it's 160, it will bring it down. Even if it's 200, it will bring it down. So beetroot is wonderful. Beetroot, celery, and watermelon with a pineapple. So one of the things that would help to boost your iron level too is watermelon. All right, eat it with the seeds. Many people don't know. Eat it with the
Yeah,
seeds.
give it to the teach.
Yes, please, Mrs. Bomi. Eat it with the seeds. I eat it with the seeds.
Yes.
So it's very, very good to help balance your iron levels. Then another one is dates. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
Dates to balance your iron levels. Then we have strawberry. All right, strawberry is good for iron levels too. I would have said banana and orange, but they are banana has higher level of iron than orange.
Hmm.
Mm.
All right, so but even at that, you still see that there are other things that are higher. I've mentioned others. think which other one should I mention? Mango.
Mm.
Many of you know mango has high levels of iron.
No.
Oh, Damilola, I did not know before, Abby.
I do know about mango actually.
Oh, don't worry. So you people's money has increased to 5 million.
Wow, wow, wow.
So
Okay.
mango contains good level of iron, even higher than orange and banana combined. All right. So
Mm.
once you be taking mango, it would help you um, increase your iron levels. All right. But like I said, learn to prevent it from going on in the first place. And when you have typhoid and malaria, try to when you're done with treatment, try to get blood capsules, all right, or blood tonic, any of them. But multivitamins do that one you call multivitamin, that blood capsule, that red and black capsule. You know it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Try to get that one at least. Take that one immediately you're done with either typhoid and malaria treatment or you're done with your periods. And another one you want to buy is vitamin B complex. I believe everybody here has heard of vitamin B complex.
Vitamin D.
Yes, please get vitamin B complex. It's actually very good. It's very small. It's your one small.
Yellow.
Exactly, that's that one. That thing is very powerful, but it's small, so you people just I beg, it's not necessary. It's very, very good. It will help boost your iron level like crazy. All right, and it's vitamin, so it's not as if you're packing drugs and chemicals into your system. Then another one would be tofu. Who knows what tofu is? Let me dash you.
Tofu. Okay,
Tofu.
awara.
Good, awara, good. So tofu is awara. All right, that's beans, no, soya beans cake.
Soya beans.
All right, so many people don't know tofu has high levels of iron. Another one is
Mm.
liver. All right, liver is very good. Liver from chicken liver is actually quite small, but it's good. Liver from chicken, liver from other meats. All right, seafoods too contain iron if you can afford them. Crab, shrimp, lobster, crayfish, and others. They have good source of iron. Another one is plantain. Over the years, people have heard of plantain having iron. Good, it has iron, but which of them is better? Is it boiled plantain, fried plantain, cooked plantain? The best form of plantain is roasted plantain, the one people call roasted plantain. Bole.
Bole.
Bole is the best form of iron you can have. Or it's the best form of plantain you can have to really get the iron because you're not boiling it, you're not frying it, you're just roasting it. So everything is still intact. Then another thing that contains iron would be dark chocolate. I did not say sweet chocolate. I did not say ice cream.
Mm.
Toasting a day are really good. I did not say ice cream because people will go and buy chocolate ice cream. You're deceiving yourself.
It can be confusing at times.
Oh, okay. Now let it not confuse you. I said dark chocolate, original chocolate. That one they used to sell one for 15,000 naira.
Okay.
Mrs. Toluwa. Sorry, I'm not Yoruba, but then
Toluwa Lokpe.
Toluwa Lokpe. Funny enough, I stayed in Ibadan for like 2 years. Zero, nothing entered my head. Miss Ajibade, are you with us? Okay, Miss Ajibade has gone to cook beans. So another one you'd want to take aside dark chocolate since it's an expensive form, or you can buy cocoa powder. Cocoa powder too is
Yeah, cocoa powder.
yes, it's not
There
expensive.
are actually cheap dark
Mhm, thank
chocolates
you.
too. There are cheaper ones too.
I need
Good.
that.
Like
Okay,
Dune,
cocoa
there's one
powder.
Dune does. Is always is available in the market, so it's cheap.
What did you call it?
Dune, Dune. It's a brand.
Okay.
Dune.
You said June
DUNE,
is
right?
cheap, my sister. Are you sure June is cheap?
Yes, it is. You can get one for like 1,005, 1,000 naira compared to the 150K one that is said.
It's saying 50K though.
So Dune is a chocolate brand. Uh,
Yes, yes.
okay, no
Okay.
problem. I don't eat them, so but I'll look for them. So may I have chocolate powder? This is a cocoa powder in my house. That's what I use. Then another thing you want to take is beef. I'm not a fan of meat. All right. So, but if you want to take beef, beef is good. At least not too much. All right. Spinach. You mentioned it before. Spinach has good level of iron. Then another one is oyster. But how many people can buy oyster in Nigeria? So if you can afford it, fine. Or crabs and lobster and others. So Oysters are good. Then we have tofu that I mentioned earlier, which is awara. Then we have quinoa, and we have tomatoes. Some people don't know what quinoa is, so I have some at home. Funny enough, I didn't know I'll be teaching this class. This is how quinoa looks like. Let me see if my camera will bring it. No, I have the camera. This is quinoa. All right, quinoa is like. Let me bring it one closer. Can you see it? And everybody see this.
Yes,
See,
because
Okay, good. So you can look for quinoa to buy. Quinoa is really good. It's quite expensive, but it's good. It's not something you eat every time. You can boil it, put it in your fridge whenever you want to make your oats, your omelette, any of the sorry, your eggs. You can add it to your eggs after you've boiled it. Go online and check how to make prepare quinoa. Then you can add it to even your oats. So let's say you made oats, you just sprinkle it inside, turn it, and you can eat it. It's really, really healthy. It looks like a smaller version of dawa dawa. All right. Then I've mentioned strawberry, I've mentioned watermelon, mentioned dates. Broccoli too can also help you to boost your iron levels. Basically, dark green vegetables should help you boost your iron levels. An example would be the general one that is quite affordable, pumpkin. This pumpkin is still affordable. I think one very small one is like 500 or 1,000 naira. Then I realize they stay cost. How much is pumpkin now?
I don't actually know
Well,
much
it
about pumpkin.
depends. It depends
Okay.
on how they tie it.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
One very small one in my area. The last time I bought it was 500 naira, 600
Okay, okay. It's your area.
in my area.
It's your area. Yes.
Now I
It's
realized
not
that
that expensive.
so it's very expensive here. Things are quite
Oh.
expensive here. It is well.
Yeah.
So
It is where.
um, thank you for telling me this product, this Dune. At least I would. Well, when I marry, I would buy Dune for my wife.
my hope she doesn't get deceived so that she won't think it's the sweet one that you are buying for her, whereas it's the bitter one.
Please buy the 15,000 naira own for her. We beg you.
And I don't know your
Yes,
problem.
so.
It is well. So let me stop here. So if you have questions, you can ask.
Mm. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Clinton.
You're welcome.
It's been even me. I've learned much more. Although I also did some research, here and there before we started the challenge and all. But hearing from him, I've learned a lot more, and I just want to do more research and you know get more things to boost my iron level. So this is time for us to ask. We're actually running out of time, but if we have any question, I guess we can ask now. Does anybody have a question for Dr. Clinton?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Clinton, for
Good
this
evening.
section. It's in fact, it's so it has inspired us and it has given us more knowledge. Some things that I wasn't even aware of before, I've learned from this class. So my question is, what could be the cause of ah this thing otifolosha clotting? Yes, clotting. There are times that when you're menstruating, you just notice that the blood on your pad or something is somehow clot. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm saying. So, what could be the cause of that, and how?
Yeah.
What can we use? What can we do to prevent that?
Okay, it's obvious you came late to the class because I mentioned something like that before.
Hey,
Now,
well,
when it comes to blood clotting, um, first it can be that you're having or experiencing an underlying uterine issue. All right. That's why I said everybody should run scan at least once every 6 months. Now, if you have fibroids or let's say endometriosis, some people don't know what endometriosis is. Remember the endometrium I mentioned it at the beginning of the class? It's only supposed to form inside the uterus. All right. Now, if it begins to form outside the uterus, it's called endometriosis, and it comes with a lot of pains during period. That's one of the reasons or one of the things that can cause cramps. Now, if you have any of these issues, endometriosis, hemorrhagic cyst, fibroids, adenomyosis, you may experience that blood lump. Sometimes it comes as a lump, all right, and then sometimes it comes as clotting. Now, if you have that level of blood clotting and with pain, it's time you run scan to be sure that you don't have an underlying issue. Then number two, it can be that it's either the beginning or the end of your period. If you are experiencing that blood clotting at the beginning or the end of your period, it is normal. Let's say on day one and day two it flows well, day three it flows well, then maybe on day five it comes out just little. It is normal because when that blood becomes small, it begins to oxidize. All right, oxidized blood would come out not as normal blood flow, but as blood lump. All right. So if you are not experiencing pains, then you shouldn't worry. If it has always been like that, then you shouldn't worry also. But then if you want to maybe make it better, I mentioned earlier in the class that you can take pineapple if you're experiencing blood clots or blood lumps, at least to create a thinner blood thinning. All right, I mentioned that earlier. So have I answered you, Mrs. Tosin?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any more questions? So before the next question, I did mention fish, cheese because I think I put it down here. One of something else that can help you boost your iron level would be fish. All right, then cheese, then chicken, then eggs. Eggs are so powerful. I can't show you my body fully, but I'm actually big, a little bit big. But then I can't show you because I go to the gym almost every day. When I stopped taking eggs, I began to shrink. When I started taking more eggs,
Mm.
I began to increase in size. So eggs have all the vitamins except vitamin C. So eggs are really, really powerful, but people don't know. I think it's 200 or 250 now. I don't know. I buy the packs. So
About
um,
250.
eggs, eat lots of eggs. Eat 2 eggs every day. Don't be deceived by what you see on the internet that you would have cholesterol. You have two types of cholesterol: HDL, LDLs. So this is more Pastor Boris is laughing. You don't have bad cholesterol as long as you're boiling the eggs and you're using good oil. All right. So eat eggs every day if you can. One egg at least. It's just 200 or 250. I think so.
It's around 250 now, though,
Okay. Sorry, I don't know.
especially in my area. Although we
I
are
don't.
actually taking egg as well. It's part of the challenge.
Good. Then almonds. All right. I think almonds, the pack should be around 5 to 7,000. Depends on where you're buying from. It can be cheaper if you're buying from I think Malams also. So almonds are good. They help to increase um, iron levels too. So and liver, like I mentioned earlier. So please, your next question.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, does anyone else have question? Is there any other question? So, Mrs. Tosin, I guess your question was answered. Are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, I am. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Okay, Pastor Maureen, you have a question.
Yeah. Dr. Clinton,
Ma,
your consultation, what's the fee for one-on-one consultation?
Damilola, do you want to smile?
I know that you are expensive. I checked your word, but
Okay.
but our Lord, will provide.
No, don't worry. God has provided already.
Amen.
Mm. Okay,
Okay.
now when it comes to
Okay, pa.
consultation,
Okay.
if it's infertility issues, I charge in 7 figures. Let me
Okay.
let me be very honest because first, my fees are quite expensive.
Okay.
Two, I do not treat fertility issues using drugs.
Okay.
I tell people I'm the last person you meet before God. If you've tried IVF, you've tried everything and it doesn't work, come to me. If I tell you it cannot be done, then just go to Shiloh. So yes, I am good with my work. So
Yeah.
I use natural remedies to solve fertility issues. So you don't need
Okay.
drugs, you don't need supplements. I don't sell drugs,
Okay.
I don't sell supplements, I don't sell herbs.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what to do exactly. So um I don't know if I should discuss my fee here, but okay, fine. For fertility,
Okay. I'll get your number from
okay.
Dami. Then we can talk one-on-one.
Yes, but just know that I charge in 7 figures, and then for other things I charge in 6 figures.
Okay.
But I don't do 100K
So,
classes.
I have a request. Anybody that is coming to you from our 30 days challenge, they're going to be discounts.
Yes, they will pay 3 million.
Hey, well.
No, okay. Well, if anybody is coming through you, I may consider. Just let me know. Tell them to let me know if they are coming through you. Then I would
Okay.
I'll be fair.
That's fine. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, since Pastor Maureen, since nobody will welcome me and say, "I welcome my husband." Ah, Omoyini,
Omo Yeni.
Omoyini, sorry, Bolanle. Hello, Bolanle.
You're
Hi, hello, good
welcome.
evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I think I'm the first person to be on this call right
Yeah,
now.
of course, of course.
Yes.
Oh my lord, I thought the meeting had ended already. I just thought I should try. Good evening, Dami.
Hi, Zoe. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Bolanle, why are you just coming?
I had a meeting.
Like,
I'm
well,
actually still on the call still on the meeting, but I just thought, okay, let me try. Try me.
okay, no problems. You came late. We are done.
Oh. Was the meeting recorded?
Yeah, it's recorded. We'll share it. We'll share the meeting.
All right, thank you
Ah,
so much.
that you don't know how to do shakara. You could just
Oh,
say no. People who were not
that's
around, they missed out. That's how you
oh,
do
I should have
suspense.
just told you first. I don't know.
Yes. Oh no, it was not
VIP treatment.
recorded. The hair.
Thank you.
It
Oh,
was nice having all of you. Pastor Maureen, as I was saying, since nobody will welcome me that oh my husband has come back, let me go and take care.
okay, so
Let me go
may
and
I
take
have a
care of myself.
question though before you
Don't
go?
worry, we are going to welcome you.
Ah, okay, it is well. Thank you, man.
I welcome. You are welcome back home, sir. We missed you. Hope your day was great.
The day was great. All glory to God. What are we
Welcome
having?
home.
Okay, so Dr. Clinton, I have a question
Okay,
as
go
well.
for it.
So yeah, so perhaps I didn't even hear it clearly, but I remember you talked about pineapple. That if somebody is on period, you're not meant to actually eat pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
And you now mentioned pineapple as some things that we can take again. So I'm trying to balance that. Is it that I can take it when I'm not on my period, or I just need a clarity with that?
Okay, good. I was answering her question. During the course
Oh,
of the class,
okay.
I mentioned that pineapple has something called bromelain. Bromelain is a blood thinner. It makes your blood lighter. All right. And during period, that is one thing you don't want to have in your system, bromelain. Hibiscus juice, what people call zobo, and pineapple. These are the two things you don't take during your period. But in the case where the period is not coming out well, if you have your period coming out well and everything is flowing well normally, then fine, don't take pineapple. All right, it will make you bleed even more. But according to our questions, I think that's the asked that question, right? Hello, Johnson, are you here?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I am.
yeah, yeah.
You don't ask the question, right? So, um, when she asked the question, she was like, if you are experiencing blood clot, and let's say your period is not flowing well, then what do you do? Then I mentioned that first you go for scan to be sure. And don't go for scan during your period, please. Go for scan after your period. 3 days after your period is fine. Then I said for a virgin, do a pelvic scan. If you're not a virgin, do a transvaginal scan. If they don't do it for you, tell them to call me, or you can call me. I'll put them on the phone. I'll tell them what I need to tell them. When they understand, once I speak some medical jargons for them, they'll do it for you because some of them will say, "Who referred you? This one, that one." The truth is, some of them do not have the device to do transvaginal scan. And please go to labs, not hospitals. Hospitals will not give you the results. And for everybody on this call, feel free to send me your result. I will explain everything to you for free. You don't have to pay for those ones. It is when there's a problem and you need my service, then I'll now tell you, okay, fine, your fee is now 10 million or maybe you pay $5,000. I'm not charging that high, but I'm just saying. Damilola, so during periods, if everything is fine, then you don't have to take pineapple. You can take it after your period. You can take it way before your period. All right. But if you know your period is coming tomorrow, or you took pineapple today and your period has already started, do not take again. You understand? And after your period, let's say a day or two after your period, if pineapple is your second friend, you can keep on eating as much as you want to. You understand what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Fine. Any other question?
Yes, from what you just said now, I'm trying to understand. You said if we want to do any kind of scan, that we shouldn't do it in a hospital. So I'm trying to understand, is it that the hospitals won't give us the correct results, or I'm not really very, very clear on that.
Okay. First, most hospitals around do not have device necessary for a transvaginal scan. All right. What they just have is normal one for a pelvic scan, which is just the probe. They'll rub around your tummy and they'll tell you, oh, everything is fine, then go. What you need, especially as a woman that is either sexually active or already giving birth or something, is a transvaginal scan, and they will need a transducer to do that. And most times, the hospitals do not have enough money to hire a good sonographer. All right. The good sonographer most times are found in good and standard labs. And then, if hospital finds any issue with your scan result, they would most likely tie you down and tell you, we'll put it in your file and start writing medications for you. This is the problem. Damilola, do you still have time? Because if I want to teach you this one night, it took us extra 5 minutes again.
Okay. Um, if you can summarize it, actually,
Okay, let me
because we still
summarize
have
now.
one more question.
Okay,
Someone
now
was raising hand.
that's Banale. No, I will bite Banale. Banale will not answer question. Okay, so now, Ms. Tosin, when you go to a hospital and then you do scan, what would happen is this: most times they might see PID, fluid present in the pouch of Douglas. This, whenever you see fluid in your POD, see that pouch of Douglas or clot the sac, it means you have possible presence of infection. Now, the right thing to do is to run tests to know the exact infection, because we have four pathogens. We have bacteria, fungi, parasite, and virus. Right? If you watch this video again, you would follow what I said. Now, if that infection is caused by bacteria, you're supposed to take a particular antibiotic. If it's caused by a virus or fungi or this parasite, you're supposed to take just one medication, one. But in the hospital, they will write five for you and tell you to come for injection maybe for another 5 days. Now, those antibiotics, because most doctors will prescribe three, four, five antibiotics and then antifungal medications. They tell you what are you feeling, what are you experiencing, and then create diagnosis in their head and then pack medications and give you. It is not healthy. The problem is it may start creating some levels of hormonal imbalance in your system, distort your hormones. Tomorrow you start having underlying uterine and ovarian issue. You start binding a casting devil that did not near you, or you go to Shiloh and say, God of Shiloh, hear my cry. You don't need it. Right? So if you go to a lab, what a lab will do is, okay, fine. They will give you the result. Take it to your doctor and explain. That's why I said everybody on this call, feel free to run the test in the lab, or the scan rather in the lab. Send me the result. I will explain it for you. If it's now necessary to do other tests, then fine. I'll tell you, go and do this test, go and do this test. Not the one I'll start writing drugs for you. No. If drugs are necessary, believe you me, I have never prescribed more than two medications at once for anybody, all through my years of practice, because drugs are not something you want to be ingesting into your system. All right. So one antibiotic for a particular issue is okay, not the one you take metronidazole, levofloxacin, ciprofloxacin, and combine everything together with fluconazole. And some people will prescribe fluconazole 200 milligram one morning and evening for 5 days. You will just die. You won't die literally, but you would feel like you're going crazy. You will know that something is wrong. This medication is too strong or keeping you uneasy, but you can't stop it because you feel like it is one professional doctor that recommended it. So this is why I prefer people going to labs to run scans and tests. If you have any other issues, go to the hospital. Have I answered your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Zoe, you have a question?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Clinton. Thank you, Demi. All right, for the opportunity to ask my question. So, quick one. I just want to get, clarity, because over time I get to organize outreaches and I get these questions, more like the correlation between taking something sweet. I don't know. Maybe the question has been answered. I mean, already. Maybe someone has asked, but I just thought I should ask since I joined late. So the correlation between taking something sweet and also having a painful period. That's one, as well as the cause of a smelly period and how it can be remedied. I don't know if my question is clear.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Damilola, can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, fine. So number one, we're dealing with menstrual cramps, and number two, we're dealing with smelling period. Now, for menstrual cramps, I mentioned it earlier, but only that if you're experiencing cramps, it is not natural. You're not supposed to be experiencing cramps. I would have explained that in details using the uterus, but because of time. Now, for those that have been on my group, Damilola knows. For those that have registered for my premium classes or personal sessions online, I didn't do physical sessions. I have helped them manage cramps naturally and end it so they don't experience cramps. So why? Because you need to know that there are two major causes of cramps. Number one is underlying uterine issue. Number two is high levels of prostaglandins. And the underlying uterine issue is when, let's say, you have fibroids, endometriosis, adenomyosis, ovarian cysts, and others. This one definitely will make you experience cramps. So if you're eating sugar alongside with the fibroid present, and most times you would not know, you'll be like, I'm a virgin. I have never done anything. Now the problem is, even virgins can have fibroids. And some people will tell you that, oh, it's because you're not having sex. Some crazy medical practitioners will tell you, once you start having sex, you will stop experiencing cramps. Don't worry, once you get married and start giving birth, you stop experiencing cramps. Even though while it's true for some people because the uterus has expanded this time, there is no correlation between sex and cramps. If you like, I have seen Aaron's girl that has cramps. She experiences cramps. So she's a runs girl. She has 1,001 whatever she has done in her lifetime. So why is she still experiencing cramps if sex was solution to cramps? So now the second part. If you have high levels of prostaglandins, prostaglandin is present in both male and female bodies. What helps you feel pain? If you don't have it, there will be a problem. Now, if you have too much of it, there will be a problem because it will cause uterine contraction, pains, a lot of pains. How do you solve or manage reduce prostaglandin is avoiding sugar? Is there a correlation? Yes. If you take high levels of sugar, processed sugar, you will experience cramps for most ladies. There are some people that their body knows how to manage this sugar, that no matter how much sugar they take, they don't experience cramps. But vast majority of ladies, the more sugar you take, the more processed foods you take, the more chemicals you ingest into your system, because it's not just sugar that causes cramps. Even something called bisphenol A in plastic foods and other kinds of foods, exposure to bisphenol A would cause cramps because it will mess up your hormones. All right. So there correlation between sugar and cramps, yes. But some ladies too, they don't experience cramps even if they eat sugar. Those ones they have different kind of body, different kind of metabolic system and everything. So if you want to reduce cramps, if you avoid sugar, it can help. All right. It may not be the total solution to it, but it can help. But what you should do is, as a lady, go for scan, like I said in the beginning of this class, once every 6 months. All right. It's not X-ray, it's not MRI. So you see, oh, they say it damages the body. No, no, no. It's just scan. It doesn't. It's not as harmful or as powerful as X-ray. Any other? Okay, then the smelling part. Sorry, the smelling part is when some ladies experience something called bacterial vaginosis. Bacterial vaginosis is the presence of bacteria or buildup of bad bacteria when you have put your hands too much in your vagina to wash it. All right, the vagina has good bacteria called lactobacilli, and that lactobacilli helps to keep the vagina healthy by creating natural discharge and secretions and everything. So your vagina would naturally release um, discharge to cleanse itself. But some ladies don't understand this discharge and they start putting their hands inside to wash it with Dettol. All right, add Dettol antiseptic. Okay, let me not spoil the brand. You add antiseptic to water and then you are putting it inside your vagina to wash. Or some people will say go and do salt water bath. You put salt inside water. Female gender. You put salt inside water, you put onions, you put garlic, you put turmeric, you put apple cider vinegar inside water and be sitting on inside it or using it to wash your vagina. No, you're creating more problem for yourself. So definitely when you're experiencing your period, alongside the smell or the bad bacteria that has piled up over time to come out, then another cause would be, let's say you have infection and it has traveled inside the uterus. That's when you're now having something called pelvic inflammatory disease, which I mentioned earlier. When there is fluid present in your pouch of the glass, it means you have pelvic inflammatory disease. And this pelvic inflammatory disease is not the one that they should pack antibiotics and give you. I hope everybody is following. I'm trying to be fast to round off. Hello? Okay, good. So, this pelvic inflammatory disease would definitely cause you to experience smelly vagina, especially when you are experiencing your period. All right. So, if you ever do scan and you see PID, don't go and meet doctor to just pack drugs and give you. Tell them you want to run tests. All right, you'll be told to run HVS and urine MCS. Know the exact infection and then take only medication based off on that. So, and then you see a change in your period and it won't smell again. Don't wash inside your vagina. And then if you're experiencing any funny discharge, go for tests. Don't go and do self medication. Believe I've answered that, right? Banale. Banale, get.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate the answers.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. So actually, we will not be taking any more question anymore. So any other question, anybody that has a question can just drop it on the group. Then I'll forward it to Dr. Clinton. And I guess maybe anybody that wants to reach out to you, can I send your number to the group or?
Please feel free. You can
Okay,
send my
okay.
number.
So anybody that wants to reach out to you, they can do that. And any question that anybody has after now, I'm going to forward it to you. So thank you so much for today's session. It was really impactful. I learned a lot, and I believe everyone here also learned one or two things. It's not even one or two. We learned a lot. So thank you very much, and I would like us to just clap for Dr. Clinton. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we have come to the end of this meeting today. So I'll be sending Dr. Clinton's number to the group. Anybody that wants to reach out to him, if you have more questions or you want to join his group, anything, just reach out to him. So thank you very much for joining tonight.
Okay, thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Polani that came late. Thank you, Bradley.
Thank
Thank
Um,
you,
you,
Dr.
sir. Thank you so
thank you,
Thank
Pastor
you
much.
so
Mike.
much, Dr. Clinton. Thank you
Thank you,
so
everybody.
much.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Hi, good night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
Hi, good night, Dami.
Good night.